Salawat. Al-Fatiha. It's time for exercise. It's 11 o'clock past. Please come forward. Exercise makes us a bit active. I'm starting in 1 minute, please. Everybody who can come forward, please come forward. Please remember, health is wealth, delay is danger. Assalamu alaikum. Today, we are starting with a breathing exercise now. Yeah. Please, those who have finished their tea or anything, please come forward. Be active a bit. And we expect quiet at the background. Please, otherwise the people here cannot hear properly. Those who finished their tea, please come forward. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We are starting with our breathing exercise. Breathe deeply as I'm doing. Now the system is 4-7-8. We breathe in with 4 and take it up, and then we will release ourselves with 8 as we are going, just as I see. Breathe in deep. Hold it by counting 7 seconds. Releasing our breath as we are coming back downward. Slowly. Now we are going with the nose. Breathing deeper. We are going with the nose, and we are breathing with one nose and taking count from the other. Now we are breathing in one nose 3 times. The other side. Now breathing very deep and we're releasing the other side of the nose. Hold it. Thank you. I'm taking time in breathing because nose and breathing will help us to clear our nose and release any problem with the nose or anything. Now we are going, as I'm doing. Now we are, for arthritis, we are bending our fingers. Look at how I'm doing. Another style now. Bring it up to here. Tighter. The finger should be tight, otherwise there's no advantage to it. Now this thumb will all together press together. Just move a bit so the blood circulation can get in. Now we are with the fingers press tight to the thumb, each finger. Come back again. The first finger, the second finger, the third one, the fourth one. Now with the nail, with the nail, you are just press with the thumb, as if you are playing carom. Now the big thumb press, every finger should press hard with the big finger. So let the finger, big finger also get exercise. Now with the big finger, the nail, just press it to the first finger, second one, third one, fourth one. Again once more, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now just release a little bit. Now bring the fingers together and press. Don't shut it, but press together. Harder. Now close the type. Press each other, hands and to each other. Press harder. Right. Now we are going to back side. I'm coming down slowly. Move sideways. Okay. Now we are going downward. Halfway. Now we are going downward. Those who can go up to the floor can do it or do halfway. Right, we are going, everybody finished. Now we are moving forward a little bit, moving about because the exercise will clear up our sight. Now we are doing the back side a little bit. Okay, now we are coming to the leg side. Leg side, there are many, but if you can move your, hold the chairs or anything somewhere, you can bring your leg backward and forward. Start with the right one, right leg. We are coming here. If you can move your foot, this will release the clotting of the blood. This side. I don't know whether we can do it. The other leg now, the other leg now. If you can't, just do whatever you can do. Okay, this much. Now we have got only 1 minute for final one. Nose section. Going faster now because of time. Now we have to start with this. Thank you very much. Somebody said that if he can't understand English, I can speak in Swahili, in Gujarati, and in Urdu later on when you can catch me. And if you don't understand any exercise, please let me know. Thank you very much. French, I'll have to use a private
Next time what I will do is I'll hold the mic. You can do it freely.
Yeah, I need somebody to help. Yeah.
I get it.
صلوا على النبي. Those brothers who are on the back benches, if you have had your tea, I would humbly request that you come on the front benches, please. Thank you. Now we'll have a recitation of Quran by Raza Bhai Chandu. Asant.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ليس البر أن تولوا وجوهكم قبل المشرق والمغرب ولكن البر من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر والملائكة والكتاب والنبيين وآتى المال على حبه ذوي القربى واليتامى والمساكين وابن السبيل والسائلين في الركاب وأقام الصلاة وآتى الزكاة والموفون بالعهدهم إذا عهدوا والصابرين في البأساء والضراء وحين البأس أولئك الذين صدقوا وأولئك هم المتقون يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم القصاص في القتلى الحر بالحر والعبد بالعبد والأنثى بالأنثى فمن أوفي له من أخيه شيء فاتباع بالمعروف وأداء إليهم بإحسان ذلك تخفيف من ربكم ورحمة فمن اقتدى بعد ذلك فله عذاب أليم ولكم في القصاص الحياة يا أولي الألباب لعلكم تتقون كتب عليكم إذا حضر أحدكم الموت إن ترك خير الوصية للوالدين والأقربين بالمعروف حقا على المتقين فمن بدله بعدما سمعه فإنما اسمه على الذين يبينون إن الله سميع عليم فمن خاف من موص جنفا أو إثما فأصلح بينهم فلا إثم عليهم إن الله غفور رحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخرى وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه في القرآن هدى للناس وبينات وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصومه ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخرى يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداء إذا دعاني فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي لعلهم يرشدون أهل لكم ليلة الصيام الرفث إلى نسائكم هن لباس لكم وأنتم لباس لهن علم الله أنكم كنتم تختنون أنفسكم فتاب عليكم وعفا عنكم فالآن بشيروهن وابتغوا ما كتب الله لهم وكلوا واشربوا حتى يتبين لكم الخيط أبيض من الخيط اسود من الفجر ثم أتموا الصيام إلى الليل ولا تباشروهن وأنتم آكفون في المساجد تلك حدود الله فلا تقربوها كذلك يبين الله آياته للناس لعلهم يتقون ولا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل وتدلوا بها إلى الحكام لتأكلوا فريقا من أموال الناس بالإثم وأنتم تعلمون يسألونك عن الأهلة قل هي مواقيت للناس والحج وليس البر بأن تأتوا بيوت من ظهورها ولكن البر من اتقى وأتوا البيوت من أبوابهم واتقوا الله لعلكم تفلحون وقاتلوا في سبيل الله الذين يقاتلونكم ولا تعتدوا إن الله لا يحب المعتدين واقتلوهم حيث سكفتموهم وأخرجوهم من حيث أخرجوكم والفتنة أشد من القتل ولا تقاتلوهم عند المسجد الحرام حتى يقاتلوكم فيه فإن قاتلوكم فاقتلوهم كذلك جزاء الكافرين فأن انتهوا فإن الله غفور رحيم وقاتلوهم حتى لا تكون فتنة فيكون الدين لله فيكون الدين لله فإن اهتهوا فلا عدوان إلا على الظالمين إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه اللهم صل على محمد
Ahsan, Jazakallah, Raza Bhai Chandu, for a beautiful recitation of the Holy Quran. You may have seen this clip with the Kuwaiti president on the reflections of the Quran, which was held, I understand, last weekend. Very good, alhamdulillah. Thank you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وفوضوا عمري على الله إن الله بصير بالعباد. I begin in the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. I entrust my affairs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Verily He looks after His servants. Alhamdulillah. Respected elders and my brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and very welcome. Those who are on the bank benches, if you have finished your tea, please come forward to the front benches. And if you don't mind, please stop talking. Thank you. प्रथम तो शुरू करूँ जो अल्लाह ने नाम थी जे महान दयालु अने दयार करनार जे भाई एक बनो अने नेक बनो. Hadith of our sixth holy Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam. No dua enters the heavens if it is without salawat. Announcements for today, Wednesday, the 23rd of April 2025. Today's luncheon is sponsored by Jafar Ba Khamisa for the Salih Sawab of his late brother Marhum Iqbal Ba Khamisa, who loved attending the seniors programs. Please remember him in your prayers and let's recite Surah Al-Fatiha. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless and grant tawfiq with rahmah, maghfirah and ni'mah salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. As I mentioned in my speech during the Mahi Ramadan program on the 3rd of March 2025 about a donation by a well-wisher of £25,000. We have now purchased a seniors minibus with a lift and wheelchair facility at a cost of £40,000, which will be delivered shortly. So this was fully financed by the same single donor who wishes to remain anonymous. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. This was in memory of his late father who loved attending the seniors programs. Please remember him in your prayers and let's Surah Al-Fatiha. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless and grant the tawfiq with rahmah, maghfirah and ni'mah salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. As you can see, brothers, the seniors programs are quite popular, and I get a lot of very nice compliments from time to time from the seniors' relatives about how the programs are being conducted, the attendance, etc. And it is very much appreciated by our members and also the family and throughout the world, alhamdulillah. We are now discussing with one of the organizers about a possibility of a ziyarah trip to Iraq, both for ladies and gents seniors in October, inshallah. Just by show of hands, I wish to gauge interest of how many of you would be interested. Please raise your hands if you would be interested to join the seniors in Iraq trip in October. Pardon? October, I think it's after, I think it's going to be after Arba'in. After Arba'in is much more quieter around October, because I tend to attend in October every year for ziyarah to Iraq. And I find it's very quiet, very peaceful, and you can perform your ziyarah quite peacefully. So roughly, shall I say about 50%? Jamad al-Awwal, thank you, Kakaji. Jamad al-Awwal, yes. Now I got some good news. A very warm welcome to our Nazir Bhai Virji, who has volunteered to join our seniors managing executive committee. Salawat. He is talented and would add value to us. Some of you may remember that he was a regular volunteer with the European Haji mission, alongside with Marhum Ahmad Bhai Dungarsi, Kakaji, and others. So for now, provisionally, I have given him the same portfolio to organize the outings and also to assist whenever we tend to go, because he, I remember he used to carry his speaker and mics every time we would go for Hajj trips. So inshallah, I think he would be quite happy to do so. So he will be in charge of the trips, even including when we go for ziyarat in Iraq, inshallah. This is for both ladies and gents, and he will be holding our bandera and maybe the speaker and the mic, inshallah. Thank you, Nazir Bhai. Salawat. Now, I wish to invite our speaker for today, our medical expert, Kakaji, with a beautiful salawat. Something.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I begin in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most merciful, the most beneficent. And of course, it is all praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this amazing opportunity afforded to me. I thank the chair of the seniors and the whole of the senior teams for this opportunity. I have, my topic today is diabetes, which we did a few months back, I believe last year, beginning of the last year. And I have some leaflets here for Diabetic UK. This is quite a useful leaflet, which you are most welcome to collect with the permission of the chair. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I won't be long. Naqvi Sahib is very kindly going to do the PowerPoint for me. There we go, as you can see. So actually, I am quite honored to be present here today and to let you know or make slightly more understanding of diabetes, of how it affects our health and how the community can take action, and to begin with basic understanding of the disease or the condition, and maybe implement some lifestyle changes, etc., through our normal day-to-day running programs here, etc., which I'll come to it later on. So what do we know about diabetes? What is diabetes? Can somebody tell me? Slide number 2. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Any idea? When diabetes, what comes in your head straight away? Sugar, mithai, ambala. It's a disease of what? Pancreas, thank you. Any other of us? So basically, it's a very chronic disease, okay? We should not underestimate it, because ultimately, in the long run, it affects each and every organ of the body, one way or the other, if it's not controlled. But luckily, you can control diabetes with drugs and with diet and lifestyle changes. So diabetes is a chronic condition where either the body does not produce enough insulin or can't effectively use the insulin it produces, as it says there, right? Normally, a hormone called insulin helps move the sugar from the blood into the cells to use as energy, okay? In diabetes, either the body cannot produce the insulin like it I've mentioned there, or it doesn't use the insulin properly, leading basically to high blood sugar levels. And there are 3 types of diabetic conditions: type 1, type 2, and gestational. Number 3, which is gestational, is mainly to do with pregnancy. And type 1 and type 2 diabetes is what I want to briefly touch on today. Type 1 basically uses injections, insulin, etc., etc. Okay, type 2 is where we are all come under the same category. Any idea how many people are suffering from diabetes in the UK? Yes, sir. How many? Yeah, how many? No, not you. Generally, what is the population? How many people in this country, in the UK, are diabetic?
40%.
Good. Okay, so 2000 statistics showed around about 4 million. Now, as for yesterday, it was 4.67 million, and expected by end of this year to around about 5 million. That is quite a lot, you know. That is a lot. Any idea what's the population of UK? Okay, last count, last night it was 68 million, 68.4 million. So it comes around about 10%-ish, not 7.8%, if I get my maths right. That is quite high, you know, because it is a debilitating condition. It's not like something that you can say, oh, tomorrow I'm better, having taken a couple of tablets. No, you have to maintain with that, with the lifestyle, etc., etc. Unfortunately, it's an organic disease which is on the organ basis, when the pancreas is not functioning properly, and you have to tame yourself. Now, changes in lifestyle, eating habits, your sleeping habits, etc., which I'll come to later on. So, who is at risk with diabetes? Can I have that 4th slide, please? Yeah, thank you. Risk factors. Can you quickly have a look at it? Okay. Can I take this? So, basically, I just want to quickly say to you to look at the family history. Obesity, as you know, obesity is the biggest killer, okay? Then there is poor diet, whereby you just eat anything, anywhere, anytime, salt, sugar, you couldn't care less, or he couldn't care less, he will definitely get diabetes. Okay? This is on pregnancy, so we won't touch that at the moment. Physical activity. You sit in the front room and you say, "My mother, chai banavi aapne?" No, you get up and make yourself a cup of tea. Okay, don't put your feet up all there. And like Abbas Bhai here did those exercises, very simple exercises. If we can do those exercises on a regular basis, you'll be amazed what difference they make. That's where it is. And then eating healthy. So this is just very quickly. Yeah? So there are several risk factors which we have looked at: the age, overweight, sedentary lifestyle, and unhealthy diet, which I will explain to you very clearly. Now, what parts of the body can diabetes affect? Next slide, please. Any idea here? I've kept it blank. In my introduction, I did say that. Anybody wants to catch up on that? The whole body almost, right? Everything, all the organs, the eyes, the nose, the feet, yeah, the weight, everything. So, what happens when the body has diabetes? Next slide, please. Next slide, thank you. So if you look at in diabetes, the glucose builds up in the bloodstream due to insufficient insulin, which I explained to you earlier on. Now this is how the binding occurs, right? This is the glucose going in there, yeah? And you can see this is the normal blood thing, and then the binding starts. All this glucose element into the blood element. This is the blood vessel, and it's the hemoglobin which gets affected because the blood sugar and the glucose gets attached to the hemoglobin. So when you come to doing the HB1, AC1 test, I will explain to you how this is measured and what happens there. Next slide, please. Okay, and how does it affect the body? As you can see, heart disease, kidney failure, eye damage, nerve damage, and foot complications. Next slide, please. Okay, so I just want to quickly go through the microvascular and the macrovascular problems with diabetes. So if you look at on the left-hand side, microvascular, so that is eyes damage, retinopathy, kidney damage, neuropathy, nerve damage, nephropathy, and the nerve damage is neuropathy. And it just points out at what areas of the body it is. So eyes, as you can see, retinopathy can be fairly common if you don't get your eyes tested once a year. You know, progressively, most of the diabetics, and I'm not saying everyone, 80 to 90%, the figure changes, 80 to 90% may develop a little bit of retinopathy. This retinopathy, I will go through it in a minute with the slide of the eye, may or may not be dangerous and may or may not cause blindness, but it can lead to that effect. So that is very important that you must get your eyes tested at least once a year, okay? Same thing with kidney damage, which is to do with your, with the diabetes out of control, can damage the kidney. Once the kidneys are damaged, nephropathy can cause devastation, quite frankly. And nerve damage, neuropathy, this is quite serious as well when it comes to it, because you will have problems basically with circulation here. You will have problems as well if the muscles don't attach to the, because if the muscles are nerve damage on the muscles, they don't get attached to that level there, and you find that you will have problems walking and all sorts of things. This is very dangerous as well. On the macrovascular side, sorry, can you go back again, please? Yeah, macrovascular stroke is one of the common factors, Stroke can cause terrible damage. It can debilitate you in every way. Okay, stroke, depending where you get the stroke, how you get it, it can stop you from doing your normal thing. Heart disease is very common with diabetics, so you've got to get your blood pressures and your cholesterol checks on a regular basis. See, peripheral vascular disease is something which is, as you know, it exactly says with the periphery, at the hands, at the leg, all the peripheral vessels can get damaged because of diabetes. Next slide, please. So if we can focus now on the micro vascular complications. So what are small vessel diabetes affects? What are these small vessels? Any idea? Any guesses? Small vessels? When I say small vessels, these are small blood vessels, okay? So it affects the small blood vessels. That means it can go into, next slide please, if you can go into the next complication, as you can see there. Retinopathy on the eyes, neuropathy on the nerves, nephropathy on the kidneys. So if you very quickly have a look at the eye here, and this kind of lesions here, okay, they are showing the beginnings of retinopathy. If this becomes bigger, it can lead to blindness, okay? It can be controlled, of course, okay, on regular checkups. Definitely once a year, you must have it. And if you're a diabetic, the government or the people in the health section there, they will automatically send you a letter. If you haven't received a letter for a checkup, then ask for one, okay? Next slide, please. This one, I've done this, although you might say, why have I got this with the urine and things like that? But this is to do with nephropathy, the kidneys. Again, they've got very smaller tubes, molecular tubes, spills out there, and they can cause, can you see this? Okay, this can all cause problems in diabetics. So, all this, end of the day, if the circulation is blocked or has got issues, all these things go back to the heart, into your eyes and terminal circulation. The heart, you know, receives all the blood, the clean blood, etc., on the circulation basis. And anywhere you get impairment of circulation, etc., can cause this kind of disparament. Okay. Next slide, please. This is a diabetic foot. We see this all the time in the pharmacy, okay, with elderly who are either on their own or who are not getting enough calls, etc., etc. Now, this could have been a very simple cone or something, or a very hard skin. Now, because of either carelessness or, you see, first of all, if you were to touch this foot as it is, you won't feel it, anything, like there's an infection. So the infection or infestation or whatever you call it, this condition, what will happen is it grows, and you don't feel it. And then by the time when you see it, it's too late. Yeah? And then you start to dig it out and clean it out, which people try to do. And because you are diabetic, the healing process is twice as much or maybe 3 times as long. So you must, if you get a small cone, don't mess around. Just go to the chiropodist, get it done. It may cost you 30 quid, get it done. Okay, if you get it on NHS, that's fine. Don't waste your time on it. Okay, keep your feet clean, keep your nails clean all the time. You know, so this thing doesn't happen because this can lead to, ultimately, it can lead to amputation if it is not controlled. Quite serious. Okay, right. So. Now, on the treatments, very quickly, what treatments come to mind when we talk about diabetes? You know, everybody talks about diabetes. What have you heard of diabetes? People use insulin for a start. Everybody says insulin, insulin. But they are for TD2, type 2 diabetes, there are some tablets which you can take with assistance of insulin that can help you to recover and maintain your diabetes. So if very quickly look at it, where are we? Which side are we? Can I have next slide, please? Okay, so treatment options, like I earlier said to you, dealt with lifestyle changes, oral medication, insulin therapy, and monitoring blood sugar regularly. This is very important. Blood sugar regularly monitored, say morning and evening, or if you're on a stable medication, etc., at least once a day, recording what it is, and reaching the, if you're out of that, how shall we, the level that you should have, which I'll go through in a minute, of whether it's 6.7, 1.2, 3.4, whatever. And I explained to you how we calculate the reading in the UK and how it's being done in the United States and Europe generally. Okay, so lifestyle changes. So now, can you go to the next slide, please? Managing diabetes. I'll give you a few minutes to have a look at it. Just look at this slide and see what. This is Mounjaro here, Mounjaro injection, nanotechnology, STEM, drugs in use, okay, medical nutrition. Statin therapy, very important to keep your cholesterol down. Okay, so healthy diet, exercise, medication adherence, regular checkups. Number 3 is very important, adherence to the medication. So if you're taking metformin twice a day, take it regularly twice a day, okay? If you're taking glycoside, for example, you must take it together when you're doing it. Statins, take it at night because cholesterol is not normally manufactured in the body at night. So you should time your doses accordingly and follow the thing. Now, medication doesn't mean that metformin will suit me, it won't suit him, for example, okay? So it doesn't matter. All medicines will not suit everybody. Everybody will have to have different kind of medication. Similar setup, but for example, empagliflozin and dapagliflozin is two same mode of action. But for example, I would like to take dapagliflozin, the Forxiga, and the other one will take empagliflozin because it's better. But if you look at the prevalence of diabetes after that, comes down, and the protection it gives you. So some of the drugs that you take for diabetes protect the heart as well, like Forxiga. I give you the example, right? Again, I'll go through that if I have time, and we'll take it from there. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay, healthy eating. Can you see that? See, that's very important. Yeah. Protein is very important to build up your muscles. And of course, the 5 vegetables, which is the story of everybody's life, they have got to know that. Okay, they should take it regularly. You have to avoid sugary drinks. Okay, what we do is here, when there is a niyaz that we have zero, and one of the volunteers tell me, Kakaji, you want tea without sugar, but I just saw you take zero. So, I mean, you can take zero, and you can eat chocolates as well, yeah? But you know yourself how much you can take and how much you cannot take, okay? So it's not like you restrict yourself completely, no chocolate, no zero, no this, that, no jalebi. Of course you can have it, but you must have it within that limit of yours. And only you, as a diabetic or with high blood sugar, will know what to take. Next slide, please. Okay, the medication, this is quite a large topic. I've got pages on this. But I am not going to go with all of that. So if you look at, I've just picked up 4 items at the moment, which are metformin, glycoside, gliptins, and GLP-1. GLP-1 is, you must have heard of it recently about all these semaglutides and Mounjaros and what have you. And Mounjaro is not the Mounjaro that we get. It's the, it's the other tablet. So there are a number of medications available. And to go very quickly, I will just read this just for your benefit. Type 1 diabetes normally is treated with insulin only. Yeah. Of course, there is supplementary things like aspirins and anti-cholesterol tablets, etc. They are given to control the other side of their thing. And if they've got vascular problems, then anti-hypertensive tablets and things like that are also prescribed. Okay, so basically, there are about 10 kinds of products available which are widely prescribed. Okay, so there will be, first of all, the insulin, metformin, sulfonylureas. Now, sulfonylurea, first of all, the metformin, I'll just very quickly tell you. I think I'll go like that, it's better. Yeah, so metformin is for type 2, and the way it works is it reduces the blood sugar, okay? It doesn't cause too many hypos. It can also be used in gestational diabetes, whereby you get diabetes due to pregnancy. It is quite safe for metformin to be prescribed there, okay? And it works quite well. The other one is sulfonylureas. What are sulfonylureas? Which are number 2, glycoside and gliptins, yeah? And this, they are normally comes in 40 milligrams and 80 milligrams. You will be initially put on 80 milligrams, okay? And then if your blood sugar is fairly controlled, okay, they might reduce it to 40 mg. One downside for it is very fast. When you take a glycoside tablet, okay, sulfonylurea, you'll see your sudden drop of sugar level, okay? Danger for that is, any idea? When your blood sugar falls suddenly, what happens? Hypoglycemia, right? So you can get that. So be very careful. So for example, when we were in Hajj, we were very careful, you know, to take glycoside because it's suddenly, and if you haven't eaten for say 6 to 8 hours, you take glycoside, you know, you could faint. So that you have to be very careful about that sort of thing. So all those side effects, what you should do is do an appointment with your pharmacist for an MUR, medicines use review, and we can go through with you, you know, as to the downsides of some of the drugs and the side effects, okay? By the way, I'm not a doctor, I'm a pharmacist, and I'm not an endocrinologist. It's just my great interest in medical education, which I've been doing for many years. Thank you. And now the other one is GLP-1, which we just touched it, which are those injections that we know. Injections are like semaglutide injections and tablets now available, Mounjaros, Wegovys, and things like that. All these things are measured, are given out or prescribed on the body mass index level. Now, body mass index is a very good way of finding out whether you are obese or not, yeah, which is the measurement of your the waist with the height and body weight, okay? So just as a figure, I don't know whether it's going to make any difference to you, but it's 35 kilograms per meter square or higher, then they will give you Ozempic or Mounjaro or something like that. But again, all these things will vary from your doctor and the way they've got the prescribing formulary in that surgery. Okay. Then we have what we call the SGLT inhibitors, which you might have seen them. Now this is a very big one again. Again, it's not very important to go through this, but I will tell you, some of you must be using these drugs. I'll give you some names, like dapagliflozin, which is Foxija, Invoca, okay, Jardine, ACE, yeah, things like that, like dapagliflozin with metformin, or with kenaflizine, which is, I told you earlier on, which is the jardinase, and things like that. So these could be the combination drugs they use. Again, every individual is different, and every individual is assessed according to his or her sugar levels, okay? And it's regularly, for example, one guy I know was given metformin, gliclazide, and sitagliptin. He was having it on a regular basis. He went for his test and he was 7.9 or 8 continuously. So the nurse changed it, the diabetic nurse changed it to Foxija and stopped the gliclazide and sitagliptin. I was surprised when I saw the script, and guess what? His blood sugar level is under fantastic control, it's 5.6, okay? And he gets a fantastic heart protection as well with Foxija. So it's always worth every 3 to 6 months to go and review your medication with the doctor. You are most welcome to come and see us in the pharmacy. We'll spend some time with you as well, and we would recommend if there are any changes are required. Okay? Most of the pharmacists are now well up to date with their diabetic and other knowledge, because we have got to get into this pharmacy first and other things that are being thrown at us, as it were. Okay? Other things which are, like I just spoke to, is sitagliptin, Januvia, sexagliptin, dinagliptin, all these gliptins. The gliptins are also other things, yeah? Now, then there is weight loss medication, which is also being prescribed again. You know, the obesity leads to diabetes, okay? Most obese people would be diabetic to a certain extent, or very prone to diabetes. So weight control is very important, and the doctors will prescribe things like Xenical or tablets, which you take orally. The only problem with Xenical, not a problem, but it's it dissolves also your soluble vitamins, also because you have to take some vitamin supplement. That I would recommend all my patients to do. Wegovy is one of the injections that they use, which is, and then there's another injection called Saxenda, and of course Mounjaro, which is the most popular at the moment, you know. Okay, so that's for the weight loss basically, and it's calculated according to body mass index, as I told you before, and you take it from there. So this is basically the medication. Next slide, please. Okay, blood sugar monitoring. This is very important, and you can all the diabetics are entitled to get a blood pressure machine, blood sugar machine from their doctors or their surgeries, okay? Most of the surgeries will provide you one, and then they'll also prescribe the strips for you to do your thing. I would propose that you definitely get one if you're a diabetic, and do regular checkups and do regular recording of it. Okay, any fluctuation, then you can work with it. Okay, and to I got the figures here. So I was sitting there the other day and was talking to this guy, and I told him that he had 7.9 sugar level or something like that. I said, that's quite high. Okay, you should try to bring it in to 6.5. So he said, no, it's acceptable, blah, blah, blah. You're talking about, what, 140, 160. See the misunderstanding here. Misunderstanding is how the blood sugar levels are measured, okay? So I have got a conversion chart here, okay, which shows you two ways of doing sugar management. Have I got time, or am I running over the time?
Yeah, good time.
Yeah. Okay. So, for example, in the United States and parts of Europe, etc., they measure the sugar level in what they call milligram per deciliter. Yeah? So milligram is 1,000ths. Decimeter is 1/10 of a liter. In the UK, we do it in millimoles, which is millions of mole in 1 liter size. Yeah. So our thing, for example, in the UK, would be say 140 milligram per deciliter in America. Yeah, would be 7.8 here in the UK. Okay, slightly confusing. So when people talk about these figures, and depending where the doctors come in the NHS now, there are so many doctors from all over the place. They may not use one standard method on giving you the figure. They might say 140 milligram, and when I tell them that 7.5 is very high, they say, "Oh, Khaki," but but they have to understand that difference is milligram and deciliter. And I thought I wanted to highlight this today so that people understand that there are different figures in different countries. Okay, so for us, it is basically millimole per liter. Okay, so 7.5, 7.3, and I'll give you the estimated things they say. For example, this I have not my figures. I copied it from Diabetic UK site and also Diabetic site of RSPGB. Okay, so the random, if you take a glucose plasma test, random, 11.1 millimole, okay, that is fine, not applicable. Fasting, 5.5, below, that's fine. And 2 hour post, 7.8, okay? So this is the parameter they've given us. Random plasma test, etc., are being done as well. So non-diabetic, before a meal, would be 5.9. And 7.8 after 2 hours after you had your meal. Type 2 diabetic would be 4 to 7. If you are diabetic, your reading will be 4 to 7 millimoles. And after 90 minutes after your meal, if it is well controlled, it should be 8.5 millimoles, not more. But you'll be amazed. You eat something, 90 minutes later, you'll find that your figure will be around about 10, 11, something. Your diabetes is not under control. Yeah, dose adjustment may be required. Again, I cannot tell you that, but I can tell you that you should sit down with your diabetic nurse or your doctor and tell them that these are your figures, and they will adjust the dose accordingly. I think this is one of the very good page on the Diabetic UK website, whereby you can actually just sit down and go through it. You don't have to absorb everything, but whatever you absorb, you'll find that will be very useful for you. Now, how do you test the diabetes? Screening and testing. Where are we now? 20. Yeah. Next slide, please. Screening for diabetes. Next one, please. Oh, yeah, sorry, just stay there, stay there. So, HbA1c test, that's very important. Fasting sugar is very important that you do the diabetic test with the fasting sugar. Fasting sugar, very simple. You take the glucose or the food or whatever, you take it. 24 hours later, you give your blood sample, okay, and then they'll determine it during the day. And then they'll give you another test after 3 to 6 hours, okay. That is quite a regular thing to do. HbA1c is done every 3 to 6 months, where they just simply, you don't have to do anything. You just live your life normally, walk into the clinic, and they'll take your blood. They take your blood and they will test it, okay? Any idea what does HB stand for? Okay, I'll put you out of HB is hemoglobin, yeah? Short for hemoglobin is HB. A1C is the test that they do. So what they do is, like I explained to you, earlier slide, we saw that the sugar, the glucose was getting attached to the blood thing, yeah? So that is where the blood vessel, which contains hemoglobin, the glucose gets stuck to it. So within 3 months, they know what sort of level of sugar is there, and that is very accurate. Yeah. We do all the other tests, is fine, but HbA1c is extremely accurate, and there's nothing to run away from that. You can't say, okay, oh my dawa khadosh. You can eat all your dawas and whatever, it's not a problem. This takes an average of 3 to 6 months, okay, and gives you a very accurate reading, and you would then know whether you are or not a diabetic, okay, and what is requirement. So remember, HbA1c test is very important. Go and see your doctor once a year, as usual, for your normal MOT, mahalla MOT, and get that done, okay. So normal HbA1c reading is, okay, 48 millimoles per mil. May not mean much to you, but if you look at the chart, that is halfway between the thing, and it's called 6.5% or below. Now, the exact reading, I don't want to go into it because it's quite complicated. Even I tried to go through it yesterday to minimize it. But I think if you understand the figure 48 millimoles per mil and 6.5%, just keep it in your mind. And if your doctor says that you are 60 millimeters or something, then it is high, okay? Or if you are 7.5, it is high. Try to aim for 48 millimoles or 6.5%, okay? So glycated hemoglobin is made when sugar in your body sticks to the red blood cells. Remember that, yeah? I showed you the picture, and I'm repeating it again. Glycated is with glucose, yeah? Hemoglobin is made when the glucose and sugar in your body sticks to your blood red cells, yeah? Very simple. Just keep it in your mind. I mean, these are just the pointers because you don't have to go into the whole mechanism, but if you understand some of the solid blocks, that's good, yeah? Well, I think on this basis I've finished on that. Screening is gone. Thank you. Next slide, please. Yeah, so what about fasting in Mahi Ramadan? Can Muslims fast? What are the risks? Unfortunately, last year we ran out of time here because my preparation for that was there, but unfortunately our president was tied up with so many programs that were there. So inshallah next year, if I'm still around and if I still get the opportunity by our president here, our chairman here, then I will prepare the whole thing because we have an amazing Ramadan thing which has been done not only in this country, not only for our Shias, etc., but throughout the country because all the Muslims, it's been done by all the Muslims, and we have charts, and we have an amazing chart as well which tells you exactly what you do, what you can't do. If you want to, in the meantime, go to Diabetes UK, okay? Can you see this? Sorry. Yeah. Diabetes UK, no diabetes, and go into fasting in Ramadan and diabetes. It will give you a lot of information. So when it comes to next year, inshallah, we'll well prepare it. So I think 1 month before Mahi Ramadan, inshallah, so that we prepare the diabetics on how to fast. Because most of the people, it's been said that, in diabetes, you don't have to fast. Fasting is not compulsory on you. You can get away with it. But almost 85%, these are the figures I got from the things I was looking up, 85% of the Muslims who are diabetic do fast, okay? Now, the problem with that is, which is fine, you can do that, but then the sugar builds up a lot if you're not careful, yeah? Also, hypoglycemia, etc. All these things I can go through with you, or anybody else who will take this presentation can go through with you as to what are the downsides of it. But having said that, at the moment, alhamdulillah, we have passed the month of Mahi Ramadan, and I hope our ibadahs have been accepted, inshallah. Okay, so there was fasting and the faith, and now we are almost coming to the end of it. You'll be pleased to hear. Okay. Next slide, please. Just a quick read to that. Next slide, please, Nakwi sahib. Thank you. So community involvement. I think that's a beautiful photograph. Look at that. This is our center. We are proud of it. So, what can we do? We can have health talks, okay? Like our chair has organized this. I would go further to say, ask the chair to even form a small, vibrant committee, you know, and come up with a plan so that these things are regular. There is somebody on call regularly, doctor, pharmacist, dentist, whoever you decide. Any problems, any issues that I have, I can call Joe Bloggs and say, look, I've got this issue, can you help me? Through the seniors. And without any commitment as such, because legally you've got to talk to the GP here, etc., etc. However, if this can be then your initiative at the seniors level, of course, all of us health professionals will help you. You know, this can be replicated to all the seniors throughout the world. You know, and now you're getting the committees in who have worked with worldwide committees, Nazir, etc. You can do this, and I mean, this is just my humble suggestion. Of course, the decision will be yours. Healthy iftars, very important. Okay, I think we have started doing healthy iftars, if I'm not mistaken, and we should continue with that. And the screening clinics, I think one is aimed for May, I believe, is coming up, and then there is one coming up in June, July, when we are doing the 70-year celebrations. So these are very regular. In fact, what we should do is one Wednesday when we are here, we can start at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning and do the 2 screenings, one for blood and one for blood pressure, you know. I can get you enough personnel to help you, not a problem. Okay, and we can have 2 sections here. Okay, and I think you can do the same for the ladies, and ladies, so many professionals there, they can do the same thing. I think we should do that fairly soon. Once we try it, and if it works out, I'll give you one example. We were doing blood pressure monitoring when people are coming in month of Ramadan. One young man, about 40 years old, came in laughing, you know, blood pressure like that. He's on 3 BP medication now. Because we got him, we referred him straight to the doctor. He's ever so grateful. You guys know him very well. He's a lovely guy, and thank God for that, because as you know, BP can be a silent killer. So this is just my suggestion. And before I sit down, is there any questions? Before I go for question and answer, I just want to very quickly go through something with you, which is very important. It's called diabetic ketoacidosis. Okay? Any offers on that? Do you know what that is? Sorry? Diabetic ketoacidosis. Okay, now this is a condition which
Pre-diabetic condition?
it's a diabetic ketoacidosis, a potentially life-threatening complication of diabetes mellitus. At the moment, we're all talking about diabetes mellitus, diabetes type 2, yeah? I haven't touched type 1. But this will affect type 1, people on insulin, okay, basically. So signs and symptoms may include vomiting, abdominal pain, deep gasping, breathing as such, abdominal pain, weakness, confusion, and occasionally loss of consciousness, okay? The treatment is you just need to give them intravenous fluids, insulin, and a product called potassium. Potassium slows down the heart, you know that, basically, yeah? So that's how it works. Complication, cerebral edema. Cerebral edema can lead into complete, how shall I put it, loss of literally everything. So you've got to be very careful. This is a life-threatening condition, and it can lead to death. Diagnosis mainly is high blood sugar or low blood pH, okay, and high keto acid levels in the body. So you can take this ketone like that. Frequency, you can ask me how many people do get it. 4 to 25% of people with type 1 diabetes get this kind of ketoacidosis per year. It's quite high, you know. 4 to 25%, quite high. So I just thought that there is an NHS document on that, which I quickly did. It's, I don't want to go through it because it's mainly for, so what happens if you do get that sort of thing, yeah? So first of all, you go to call 999 or A&E, okay? Call your diabetic care team, and then it's not like untreatable disease. Can be done, but it's got to be done straight away. Thank you very much for listening to me. I hope it was not too long. And I can take any questions, if there are any. Oh my God, we've got a diabetic guy there, critic. He's called Abdul Nur Muhammad. Please, Abdul. Please come here, Abdul.
I'm not diabetic.
I know you're not. Critic.
Again, if you've got time, can you talk about the type 2 diabetes, can you talk about remission?
Sorry?
The type 2 diabetes, talk about remission. Remission. If somebody is on type 2 diabetes and remission.
Yeah, remission, yeah.
Remission.
Do you want to talk about it? No, no, please, can you?
I don't know myself.
I mean, we had somebody who was really diabetic, very high diabetic, and the remission occurred purely by diet control, exercise, and discipline. 3 items. Anything else, Abdul? Could you kindly come here so that... it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. We'll close the camera out, don't we? Yeah? Abdul Bhai has got this particular experience.
I am not diabetic. Yeah?
I know he's not. Abdul Bhai is not a diabetic, but he's associated with somebody who he knows this has happened. I'll pass the mic over to him.
Assalamu alaikum. If you're on remission, what does that mean? And do you stop taking tablets? And if you're on remission, are you classified still as diabetic? And what are the dangers?
I think it's an excellent question. You can answer that.
No, I don't really know.
Yeah. So I looked at it last time as well. When diabetes is under control, you can basically reduce the tablets you're taking. You're under remission. Pointless, you're taking glycoside metformin and you're remission, you could go into hypo. Okay? However, monitoring is the key, basically. Basic common sense, monitoring is the key. I talked to one doctor, unfortunately he's not an endocrinologist, but a brilliant doctor, and he said to me, look, this is down to an individual. If she's come down or he has come down with diabetes to a level whereby it's fully controlled, okay, and functional, then you don't need anymore the tablets to take, yeah? But monitoring is very important. So blood level sugar and blood level monitoring, etc., should be done on a regular basis. That's my advice. Anything else? Do you think, am I...
On your remission, can the doctor ask you to take tablets altogether?
Yeah.
And what are the risks of getting it back?
Yeah, so that is a risk, because if your lifestyle doesn't change after that, and you go back to your old bad habits, yeah, it can come back, okay, which is pretty obvious. Yeah. However, once you maintain yourself in that level and you are in that kind of a discipline, there's a good chance you will not repeat the same thing again, because you know what was the complication, and you will feel better yourself. You see, in life, you'll see life is all about circulation. The moment your diabetes improves, right, and you'll see your circulation improving, like the small exercises we do, improvement in circulation. You raise your arm, okay, and the blood flows. You bring it down, the blood flows again. All this is about circulation. When you do 1 or 2 steps like this, it's all about circulation. Life is all about circulation. The moment your circulation improves, every organ in the body, getting the blood supply there will automatically improve, including your eyesight and your hearing and everything. So that's very important. So with this particular person who has improved, you know, you will find that he or she will never go back on the bad habits. They will carry on with the same discipline, okay, with the same kind of diet or food. Of course, once or twice you have your steak and you have your chocolate, etc., you know, as long as it's not Cadbury's. Yeah, so it's fine. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can we use saccharine, no added sugar, like drink Coca-Cola, no added sugar,
No added sugar.
orange, no.
I think it's a good question. I mean, we've been asked whether or not we can use artificial sweeteners in our drinks. Of course, it's better than sugar, but there are side effects with artificial sweeteners.
For increased diabetes, glucose.
Yeah, what I think, you see, our rule when we were doing Hajj, yeah, was why go for shortcuts? You know, people say, okay, you know, gadial peli shagu ihram ma, you know, do you need the gadial in ihram? Yeah, we asked them, why shortcuts? Just go for the whole thing. Why do you want added sugar? You should train yourself, my opinion, personally, train yourself just to have plain without sugar. Khalas, finish. Of course, but if you take it, you take the risk. There's a risk.
Sometimes we feel in the neck allergic, so we drink little bit no sugar Coke. The case will help
Yeah.
to go allergic in the
Sure. Your choice, really. I don't think it affects the diabetes.
increase.
No. Yeah, anything you
What
take.
we say is not increase for diabetes, like brown sugar, gur. If you eat gur, you cannot increase. I'm not sure, but they say.
Yeah. Difficult one, actually, because unless anybody has got, I don't think it's not necessary. If you don't take it, you know, it's not. I would not recommend it personally, you know. But if you are that way inclined and it doesn't affect your diabetes as such, by all means, it's fine with me. Yeah. Murtaza?
Difference between hypo and hyper.
Yeah.
If somebody's hyper, what do you do?
Hyper and hypo.
Hypo, I know what to do, but hyper, I don't know.
Hyper, you have to.
I know what it is.
Yeah, hyper is high. Yeah.
I know that.
So you have to either give them insulin, okay, to bring the sugar level down, or the tablets, or if it's under control, straight 999 in the hospital. They can control it straight away. Yeah. Hypo, you give them sugar. So this is very important, and we found it a lot in Hajj when people used to sort of go in the morning. They are diabetic, okay, and they would eat a lot of baklawas, etc. And they come in and we measure they are 40, 50. Can you imagine that? I couldn't believe it. And then they can't climb the thing because they, you know, you notice that we used to be there. So that's where sugar level is high. We refer them to the hospital. They get some insulin treatment to bring the sugar level under control. You know, and hypo used to happen sometimes in Arafat and other places where we used to treat them accordingly. Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, just want to find out whether that diabetes, visiting, the question is whether we visit washroom for urination every time. Is it a sign of diabetes? And what are the signs of diabetes if you are getting or you are now coming to a diabetic? What are the signs before you come to that state? Symptoms.
Yeah, the symptoms, I mean, frequent diuresis, going to the toilet regularly is one of the signs, getting up in the night. But then again, it's also with the prostate, yeah? So you're going to look at it holistically, generally speaking, as to what exactly are the symptoms. So weight loss is one, which is quite common in diabetes, okay? Blur vision, okay, something like that. Tiredness, very tiredness, and urinating at night regularly, getting up, whatever. Thirst is another one. Very common is thirst, okay? So all these symptoms are there. Anything like that coming in, there's no reason for you to stay at home and say, Inshallah khair. Of course, Inshallah khair, Allah knows best. But you must go and see a doctor and say, I've got this or this thing. All they'll do is a simple test, blood test, blah, 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 and you will get your results. Yeah? Yes, Makbul, sorry.
Can diabetes people give blood? You can give blood? donate blood?
Yeah, of course they can donate blood, yeah. But yeah, but the clinic accepting the blood will do a test first before they're accepting it, because there's a regulations for the blood donation thing like that, yeah. I'm not fully aware of it, but I don't think there's a problem with diabetes.
You mentioned Mounjaro.
Yeah.
For a non-diabetic person to reduce weight, would you recommend taking Mounjaro?
Good question. Yeah. Mounjaro, brothers and sisters, is not Mounjaro like we know. Inke Mounjaro, it's not that. Mounjaro is an amazing drug. Is Trepi something, the chemical name, and it actually does work. Okay, it does bring the weight down, and you start with say 2.5 milligrams dose, then they up it to 5 milligrams, and 7.5, and depending, if you are fat and obese, they can go up to 15 milligrams. But I would just ask you that you must go through your doctor. Okay, it's got to be recorded on your thing. It's fairly new. Not all the side effects are known yet. Okay, but so far the reports are excellent, and now NHS is prescribing it to diabetics. Okay, which is good. So it has now taken over from semaglutide, which is and Wegovy, So they're writing Mounjaros, but the dose varies accordingly. But as far as I know, my first experience, and I see this all the time, that it does produce substantial or significant weight loss. Okay. Further on, I don't know the side effects, etc., that I come across. People say they feel tired, their appetite is lost, etc., but I have no other recordings. But I'm sure it will come out in due course.
If you have got diabetes, cholesterol, heart problem, can you take vitamins?
You got all these problems. You should first of all change your lifestyle, okay? Get a healthier lifestyle. And 100% you must take your vitamins, not a problem. There's no interaction with any vitamins I know, for any of the things you're taking. Unless there's one thing I read somewhere, I'm trying to figure out what the interaction is, but I don't think it's significant. So you should take multivitamin one a day. It does help, whether or not multivitamins help or not doesn't matter, really and truly. If it boosts your thing, I would go for multivitamins with minerals. People underestimate the use of minerals, but you'll be amazed. There will be certain minerals in the body which might be missing, okay, that you are not aware of. So you take vitamin A, B, and D, and whatever. Vitamin D is excellent. You must take that automatically. And vitamin C, no danger, no. So you take the minerals, and you will be amazed, because there may be one item of something, clomidine or something is missing, and will be done by that. So the improvement will occur. This is what the advice I give to my patients and my clients. Any more? He's telling me to. Okay.
One last question.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Someone who has been diagnosed with a pre-diabetic condition from his HB1AC tests, is there any programs organized by the GPs or sort of NHS to sort of reverse the condition? Thank you.
Yeah, so there is a program through the diabetic nurse. So what happens is, if you are a pre-diabetic, diabetic potential, but you're pre-diabetic diagnosed, what they do is every 2 to 3 months, they do your tests, okay? And that's a regular thing. So they do your weight check, your bloods, etc., every 3 months or so, 2 to 3 months, okay? And any changes, very important, yeah? One thing I think that's very simple. One thing I forgot to tell you earlier on is dry skin, okay? Very common with diabetes. You'll see dry skin here all the way through. Dry, your feet, your nails are so dry. So tell your doctors to prescribe some emollients for you, okay? Use emollients all the time. Emollients are readily available and prescribable, Okay, they don't cost a lot on NHS, and it will help you a lot, because if you get dry skin, if it cracks, it gets infected. Is you saw that foot photo there, then to control an infection is jolly difficult, trust me. So if you can control it earlier on with dry skin, control this thing. Chiropody, very important, right? Go to a chiropodist on a regular basis. Get your nails cut, okay? Those people who, pardon me for using this, who can't afford it, can get NHS to do it for you, okay? So NHS will be able to direct you to a chiropody and check your nails on a regular basis. You must do that. We must do that. Anybody who is diabetic or nails, very, very important. So while they are doing that, they will also look at the bottom part of your foot, okay? So they will look at this part of your foot, and they'll check whether or not you got any cones or any hard skin, etc. If there's any cones, they will remove it. If there's any hard skin, they will shave it, and then they'll put something like, the best cream for that sort of thing is called a cream like Flexitol, but you must use Flexitol 25% urea. You can buy other creams which are 10%, 5%, don't waste your money on that. For your foot, for diabetic foot, use urea 25%. Flexitol, ask your pharmacist, give you 25% cream. Use that, you'll be amazed. 2-3 days later, you'll see your feet will be amazing. And that goes for your hand as well. Hand balm as well, 10% urea. Yeah, you can use it regularly. So you must look after your skin. The moment you do that, you see, all these are all lifestyle changes is when, Abdul Bhai, this is what comes in. Once you've done all these things, yeah, and once your friend has done all that, okay, and he or she is now in remission, they will never go back again. Trust me, yeah? Okay. Am I taking too much time? Okay, I'm sorry. So, brothers and sisters, I really want to thank you for your time and your patience. I hope this was useful, and I want to thank the chair and the seniors team for this occasion. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Allahumma salli ala.
And thank you, Naqvi Sahib, for your kindness. Thank you, Naqvi Sahib, as always.
Okay. Mashallah, that was brilliant, Kakaji. That was very, very useful. And as you heard, it's a life-threatening illness. Inshallah, we hope and pray that we may be saved from these ailments. Again, I wish to express my gratitude to Kakaji for his unwavering support, to the Hujjat seniors. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you lots of barakah in health and wealth. Ameen. Salawat. Yeah, sure. Thank you. I now wish to request Iqbal Bhai Rashid to come and recite Surah Yasin for us, please. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكرى وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أأتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغني عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني إذن لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كما أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وأعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين. وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين. وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين. ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون. ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون. قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون. فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون. إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم. وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون. ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم أن لا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم. ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون. هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون. اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون. ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون. ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون. ومن نعمره ننكسه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون. وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين. أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون. واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون. لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون. فلا يحزنك قولهم إن نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون. أولم ير الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين. وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم. الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون صدق الله العلي العظيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد الفاتحة صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. حسن.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Iqbal Bhai, for that beautiful Surah Yasin recitation. I've been asked to repeat the announcements that I made earlier because of the latecomers. Today's lunch niyaz is sponsored by Jafar Bhai Khamisa for the Isal Sawab of his late brother Marhum Iqbal Bhai Khamisa, who loved attending the seniors programs. Please remember him in your prayers and let's recite Surah Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Those who haven't got this thing, I've already put in the senior.
Okay, fine. About the diabetes leaflet, those who haven't received the hard copy, Abbas Bhai has just informed me that he has put on the seniors group, so you can access the PDF copy there. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless and grant tawfiq to the donor for today's niyaz with rahma, maghfirah and ni'mah. Second announcement, as I mentioned in my speech during the Mahi Ramadan program on the 3rd of March 2025, about a donation by a well-wisher of £25,000. We have now purchased a seniors minibus with a lift and wheelchair facility at a cost of £40,000, which will be delivered shortly. So this was fully financed by the same single donor who wishes to remain anonymous. This was in memory of his late father who loved attending the seniors programs. Please remember him in your prayers and let's recite Surah Al-Fatiha. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless and grant tawfiq with rahmah, maghfirah and ni'mah. I've also been asked a question about the minibus. It is going to be a 14-seater minibus with a lift and a wheelchair facility. And it will be utilized, not sure, but we'll need to discuss at the committee stage. But I would imagine that having to ferry from here to Hereford or maybe pick up some of the seniors who don't have transport come to the programs. But nothing has been decided. We will decide as soon as we have the minibus, which will be stationed here at Hujjat, Imam Barga. It will be parked here at Hujjat, inshallah. The third announcement was about that we are discussing with one of the organizers about a possibility of ziyarah trip to Iraq, both for ladies and gents, seniors in October, inshallah. Again, if I may request by show of hands, how many of you would be interested to attend in October, please? So, okay, I think we had found about 50%. Further details will follow. Further details will follow soon, inshallah. And finally, I had good news that a very warm welcome to Nizar by Virgit to have volunteered to join our Seniors Executive Committee. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. توجه الزيارة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوسيين، السلام عليكم ابن فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولاي ابن مولاي، السلام عليك غريب الغرباء، السلام عليك يا سلطان أبو الحسن علي بن موسى الرزاق، كن شفيعنا وشفيع والدينا في يوم الجزاء ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا صاحب الزمان، السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن، السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا مولانا صاحب العصر والزمان يا ابن الزهر عليه السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرزقا توأ وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد.